Today, we're breaking down the business of Square Pie Guys in San Francisco. Mark started this business not too long ago, and they're up to 5 locations now. And we're gonna break down what makes Square Pie Guys so successful and what you can copy or steal legally into your business to make your pizza shop duplicate what Mark's done business-wise with Square Pie Guys. This is the business breakdown of Square Pie Guys. Mark didn't actually start as a Detroit-style pizza company. He was doing pop-ups selling Neapolitan-style pizza, and then one day, he was doing an event and somebody wanted to try his pizza because they were doing their own wedding. And he said, listen, all I have left are these Detroit-style pizzas. You want to try that? You can have that, but that's not what I do. Then, instantly, after they tried it, they loved it, and the idea for Mark started. Why don't we do a Detroit-style pizza company in San Francisco? Now, the lesson here is listen to the customer. And it goes against everything that I usually say, which is don't listen to the customer. Start small, do what you want to do, dominate your area. But Mark actually listened to the customer and said, you know what? There aren't too many pizza shops doing Detroit-style pizza in San Francisco, and maybe this is an opportunity for us to be the first and dominate the area. Started with 30 Detroit-style pizza pans, which is funded by the wedding that they started, and then from there, Square Pie Guys became what you know today in San Francisco. So the lesson here is to listen to the customers. They're not always right, but sometimes they may give you an idea that you can use to leverage in the future to grow your business. Lesson number 2 is build a delivery-first machine. That's what Mark's done with Square Pie Guys. Detroit-style pizza is really one of the best styles of pizza to be delivered. It holds up really well, tastes great if you reheat it, it tastes great cold, it tastes great the next day. So Mark noticed that. He said, you know what? If we're gonna be a Detroit-style pizza company, I wanna make sure that we can deliver to all the customers that want to. And they hyper-focused on being the place where people call for delivery. San Francisco and Silicon Valley is where all of these third-party delivery apps kind of started. And Mark noticed that. He said, you know what? We are in a heavy tourist area. We want people to come to us, but we don't wanna be solely reliant on tourists. We want to be able to get to the customers and the people who live in San Francisco but can't get our pizza. So he's focused heavily on being able to make sure that not only do they have a great service when you walk into the restaurant, but they have availability to get delivery and their pizza across the city. The takeaway for this is know who you are and know what your city is. The key to having a successful pizza shop in any city is understanding the people that live there. Mark understood that where the Square Pie locations are located, they're heavy tourist areas. He also wanted to be able to cater to the tourists, but also be able to deliver and cater to the people who actually live in San Francisco. So he does that with in-store kiosks, QR code ordering, and partnering with third-party delivery apps, or one app specifically that I won't mention, to be the go-to source and partner with them so they help with all of the deliveries in that area. The key here is if your city is a delivery town, stop pretending like it's not. Mark noticed that people lived in the city and traveled to the city, and they're two different customer bases, and he wanted to be able to cater to both. So look at your business and say to yourself, and be honest, are we a delivery business or are we a takeout dine-in business? And if you're both, cater to both of them. Next key here, and this has happened to many locations that I've talked to that have multiple spots. Standardize the box. Every Square Pie location is basically the same. They have the same ovens, the Edge 2460 conveyor ovens. Yes, they use a conveyor oven because they are doing Detroit-style pizza, and Detroit-style pizzas and the Lloyd pans cook pretty good in a conveyor oven. They use the same fryer, the same kitchen layout, the same 12 to 13 pizza items in every single location. There's not different menu items or different sizes of pizza. They are all the same. And he wanted to be the same so that way he could have people go to different locations and experience the same style of pizza in the same menu, regardless of where they are. And if you're looking to expand your business, consistency is the key. It's also the hardest thing to do. But if you have systems in place and you standardize everything, it's gonna be a lot easier for your people to make a consistent product time after time. The other thing is, which Mark does, is he has a small menu. There's only 12 or 13 items on his menu. Yeah, there's different varieties of pizza, but he has pizza, a couple salads, and a couple side items, and that's kind of it. You can mix and match the pizza, but there's only one size. He would prefer you to get multiple pizzas versus half and halves, and he also does a great job of incorporating a gluten-free menu. But the key here is simple. Very simple menu that's easy to replicate regardless of the location that he's in. Every store needs to feel the same, and not the same like you're walking into the same store, but it feels the same when it comes to the consistency of the product. He knows that his customers are going to walk into one location or another, and if they order that same pizza, it's going to come out the same every single time, and they're going to know how to instinctively do that because the stores are laid out the same across the board. The next key factor, menu discipline. This is an interesting thing in the conversation we had with Mark. Mark could do endless combinations of pizza in collabs. He's in San Francisco. The access to insane ingredients, influencers, people who could collab with to do secret menu items or more menu items is limitless. But most people just order cheese and pepperoni. And he needs to train his staff to pause and think about the combinations that they have. How is this going to help our business grow? Is it going to be easy to implement? Are we going to be able to execute this consistently over time? And if so, maybe we'll think about adding. But for the most part, when people are ordering cheese or pepperoni, the palettes are kind of simple when it comes to the pizzas that he's selling. So he doesn't want to create endless menu items and do all of this extra work if people aren't going to go for it. So this year at Square Pie Guys, Mark stopped or paused the constant menu changes, and he focused on a couple things: training, new store openings, and tightening up the execution on the core pies. He learned a couple things too, like the 6x8 kind of confused people. They didn't know what it was. They also thought Square Pie Guys meant apple pie at first. So he rebranded, clarified, and cleaned up the language on the menu so people weren't confused, because confusion leads to non-orders. Sometimes your ego wants 20 or 25 specialty items with all these seasonal things, but your bank just really wants a killer cheese and pepperoni pizza, because that's what's going to pay the bills. Keep it simple, don't overdo things, and keep your menu as simple as possible with a small variety so people can get something different if they choose to come in multiple times a week. The last thing here, Mark decided, is he a chef or is he an owner? He had to stop doing everything. He's hired a director of operations who runs the day-to-day operations. He's structured his team so that each individual store can operate on their own with a GM, and then they answer to the director of operations, who then answers to Mark. We often sometimes feel like we need to do every single thing and micromanage a lot, and the more that you have to or want to micromanage things, the harder it's going to be for you to grow. And it's hard in the beginning because it's your baby. If you're running a pizza business, or any business for that matter, you want to make sure everything is done properly. But if you're micromanaging all of the small tasks that somebody else could easily do, then you're not going to be able to focus on finding new locations, building out the structure of the leadership team, being able to grow your business to give the people who work for you more opportunities within the business that you have. You need to step outside of those small tasks that somebody else that works for you can do easily and trust them to do it, even if they make mistakes, which is going to happen. A lot of times you need to let people do a thing, make a mistake, learn from that mistake, fix it, and get better over time. Where you need to stop is if people are making the same mistake over and over and over again, that's when you can step in. But let them make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and move forward. It's going to help your business grow a ton. If you want to be the owner, but you refuse to let anyone else run a shift, you don't have a business. You've bought yourself a very expensive job. All right, that's my business breakdown of Mark from Square Pie Guys, doing a great job over there in San Francisco. Some key takeaways that you can learn and implement in your business. These are just things that I've noticed from visiting these pizza shops. I hope you enjoy these business breakdowns. We have so much more content coming from you in the future. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and let us know where you watch this from in the comments below this video. Thank you so much, and you will see you next time.